A place that has a great deal of personal significance to me is my grandma's house in Schenectady, New York. Ever since I was born, for Thanksgiving, my mom, dad, sister, and dog would pile into a big Toyota Sequoia and drive to my grandma's house in upstate New York. Even with the grueling 9-hour drive from my house in Northern Virginia, my grandma's house in the town of Schenectady in general has always felt more like home to me than the town where I was born and raised. Some of my most fond memories at my grandma's house have to do with the amazing food she would cook. After a long drive up, she would always have a home-cooked meal waiting on the table for us for dinner, and 9 out of 10 times it was her famous homemade spaghetti. The effects of the amazing home-cooked food on everyone was evident. It was inevitable to overeat when the food was as good as it was. The meal was not successfully over until each person had had several platefuls and was uncomfortably full. Each year, I remember Thanksgiving dinner being started earlier and earlier in the day because everyone would always want to take a long nap to make room for the amazing dessert after. Everyone always ate themselves into a food coma, or as my mom's side of the family would call it, into the famous Albert's power nap. My grandma was notorious for never changing a thing. My power naps were always in this bed. It was the same bed my mom slept in growing up, which had her Girl Scout sash hung over the vanity for the 18 years I slept in this room. Dogs were a huge part of the family gatherings. Not only would all 6 dogs cram into my grandma's house, but my grandma would make them their own Thanksgiving dinner. The dogs were treated just like humans, if not better. They would be the first to steal your spot on the couch anytime you would move. Every Thanksgiving, my dad, sister, and I would be tasked with raking the leaves out of my grandma's yard. We would stuff thousands of leaves into her millions of trash cans. And of course, after we spent the whole morning and afternoon raking, my grandma would make us her famous turkey sandwiches for lunch with the leftover Thanksgiving turkey. The last day before we would head home, each weighing about 15 pounds heavier, we would all pose for family pictures. As seen through the other pictures, the curtains with the green and pink leaves, which my grandma sewed herself, remained up in the house for the 50 years she lived there. This next picture of my mom, if she knew I included it, she would likely disown me, but it shows just how unchanged my grandma's house was over the years. The wire railing in the background remained in her house from when she first moved in 1964 up until 2013. The memories behind everything in my grandma's house made it feel much like a home that I grew up in.